secret, things that we've been working with, things about mind over matter, things working along with changing your DNA. And he's going to be able to explain a whole lot more than I just read off of his website. By the way, he has a website. Write this one down, guys. It's 3Ws.DNAunited.com. And he's also written a book, which he's going to give us the name of.
Spend and Grow Rich. I don't know if you can guess what that was.
Think and Grow Rich, which is one we're working on, yes.
What was it? Spend what?
Spend and Grow Rich.
Spend.
The book we're working on is Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Well, this one's Spend and Grow Rich by Rajan, right? I got it right?
Like Trojan without the T.
And what has the last name?
Oh, that's Ramchandani.
Rajan?
So Rajan
Ramchandani?
is here. That's Rajan Ramchandani.
Rajan? Ramchandani.
Ramchandani.
Ramchandani. What he said. Okay, so. Alright, anyway, I'm going to leave it to you. Thank you very much. You can have all the time you want.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex.
My pleasure.
Hi. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
You all know my name, so I don't want to start with that. I'd like to start out by thanking Sunita for giving me an opportunity to talk today, and Alan for organizing and inviting you guys over to listen to something that I feel very strongly about, and something that you guys have been discussing over some time, which is the Golden Hills, or Think and Grow Rich. And it's something which is a little different from Think and Grow Rich, but it gives the same message, it takes you through the same steps, and it gives you, in my opinion, a slightly clearer picture on how to achieve the objectives that you all have through the Think and Grow Rich method. Okay? And secondly, I bring greetings from Singapore. Okay. Think and Grow Rich. Can anyone tell me what have you done in your meetings on this subject, Think and Grow Rich?
That's probably best covered by Irene, who put this group together.
Well, basically, what we've been working on is getting the mind over matter, getting that whole technique down. Focusing on the positive and the things that we want to bring into our lives, focusing on those things. So I have them read the self-confidence formula every day, and also we put into writing the things that we want to accomplish. And we have vision boards now that we've put together.
Right. And how many of you have found success in following the steps?
I'm not totally where I want to be, but I've seen huge changes.
This subject today, there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. 6 steps that will hopefully make it more clear on what Napoleon Hill tried to pass on to us through his message in Think and Grow Rich. Think, as we all know, is something to do with our thoughts. And thoughts, how many of you believe that thoughts are in your control? You control thoughts? All of you do? If you don't, for any reason, let me just give you an example. Now, I'd like you all to think about a rose, and just think about the thin green stem with thorns on it, the green flower at the bottom of the red rose, and the red petals that bloom out, and the smell, you know. Take a deep breath and you smell that beautiful smell of the rose. Now, how many of you could not think of that rose? You know. Now, immediately you just think about this big car that's going fast on the highway, and you find this dog cutting across the highway, and the car goes along, smashes the dog up. You see red blood all over the place. You see the dog cut in half on the street, you know. And could any of you not do that? You know, all of us have, by birth, the capacity to think. And those thinking thoughts or thoughts are created by us in our minds. Some of us believe that thoughts come at random into us, which is not true. Because we have, over time, conditioned ourselves to believe that thoughts are coming at us from the outside at random. Because we use our 5 senses to think. where thoughts actually happen in our mind. And when you visualize it, you visualize a scene when it's explained to us in detail, we can actually create a thought. And that's what Napoleon Hill is trying to tell us. And the Secret talks about the same thing, that thoughts, you must stay with one thought, no matter what that is. What does thinking do? It helps you create. Now, what is creation? In my book of rules, creation is nothing but planning. When you think of something that you have to do or you want to do, you start planning, okay, if I do this, chances are this can happen. And if this happens, definitely this is going to happen. And if this happens, no doubt, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get this. I'm going to close the account. I'm going to get my business, whatever the case may be. So once you have a thought, you start to plan. And planning takes you to the next step of becoming. Because planning will keep you on the mode to strive, to become. You'll be running to become. You want to become a doctor. You want to become the greatest salesman on the planet Earth. And you want to do this, and you want to become this, and you want to become. You are running. You're striving. You keep on running to become. Thinking gets you to create, gets you to plan. And planning will get you on the path for action. Do something. Okay? And when you are in that mode of becoming, what happens? What happens when you are so excited to become? Close the sale. Go meet 10 people in a day. Go talk to 10 people in a day. Whatever it is that gets you to move. What happens then? That's the key part. You know, that's the most important part. That's what thinking creates. After you are in the process of becoming, you express. Now, if you are in the process of becoming, you experience anger, you will express anger. Express is nothing but throwing out, letting the world know that this is what I'm here to do. And when you express things, you go through an experience. That's the fourth step. Okay? When you go through an experience, you experience the results of your expression, which, going back, was the reason for that was expressed because of becoming. And this experience is what will give you other ideas, will give you other thoughts, will give you another reason to just go on to create, to plan, to go on from planning to the action, becoming mode. From becoming mode, you go into the third mode, which is the expression part of it. So it's a cycle that continues. So you start with thinking, you start with a thought, and you create, you plan, and from planning you go into the becoming mode, which is action mode. From becoming, and while you're in the process of becoming, you go into the expression mode, and expression gets you to experience a certain thing, whatever that thing may be. From experience, you arrive. Through experience, you arrive. And that's when you are. That's when you can literally follow this secret mode, which is what is discussed in the secret, by the way. It's just to be who you are. And you can only be who you are if you have experienced something. Okay? That's when you have really arrived. When you experience a rejection, for instance, in your line of work, when you've experienced a rejection from a customer, you start to think. There are two ways to go about it. Well, you can either think, oh, I'm a failure. By the way, there is no such thing as failure anywhere in the world. Failure is just a result that what your action created, and your action can be checked. The process of the action can be checked, and then realize that the failure is just a result. Nobody is a failure on this planet.